Let us start with a mindfulness meditation level 2. We are moving progressively be comfortable either sitting or lying down in any posture, in any position of the body. Let the mind become aware that the state of consciousness inside is independent of the body, the mind, the emotions, the thoughts, feelings, sensations, and the change that we experience in our life from moment to moment. Being comfortable, look at the neck joint. Go slowly. Why we go slowly? Indirectly, we are hitting the running mind, asking the mind to be slow. Don't go fast. And that is one of the silent but big steps towards going deeper into a meditative state. Look at the neck joint and just be there. Discover the comfort or adjust and align. The mind goes to the shoulder joints, just in a line, very comfortable, and move the mind on the elbow joints, be comfortable, or if there is any discomfort, you simply adjust and align. The goal is to indirectly. Why I say indirectly? We are working at the physical level. Outwardly, we are being comfortable, but deeper inside, we are moving the mind slowly, and even in the preparatory step, we can reach to that state of the mindfulness. The mind goes to the wrist joints, adjust and align, or discover the comfort, the fingers, adjust and align and be comfortable. The hip joints, adjust and align, or discover the comfort. The mind still subconsciously wants to run. Oh, it is already comfortable, let me run somewhere. And before it runs somewhere, we say, okay, move, come on, here on the knee joints, discover the comfort, or adjust or align. And that is why even the instructions needs to be modulated to help the mind to move consciously, and ankle joints, discover the comfort, and that comfort we get some feeling, sensation is there. The mind says, okay, let me move to something else, but before it moves we say, come on to the toes. Comfortable. Good, being comfortable at the physical level, and before the conditioned mind wants to run somewhere else habitually, we say be carefree. What it means by being carefree? We are saying to the mind, okay, you are running to different thoughts, feeling, memory, past. We are not interfering. But know it consciously that these contents of the mind are different than the mind. And that is why we have a metaphor, standing across a road, watching the traffic moving on both the lanes, on the highways. We are simply watching. Just become aware that something deeper within is aware of the thoughts moving on the traffic, on the highways of the mind. It comes, it stays for a few seconds, it disappears. My master said, if you are witnessing the traffic on the mind, you will discover that every thought comes to go. It doesn't stay. Why it stays? I'm attached to it. From where the attachment comes? From the subconscious and the habitual mind. Why this attachment? Because I'm not aware of the inner peace, calmness and happiness. Why it is attached? Because the mind subconsciously seeks the pleasure and the happiness there, even though it is not there. Can it happen intellectually? No. It happens when we are simply aware. Thoughts are coming and going in the state of being comfortable. Only in the state of being comfortable we are carefree. Being carefree. Now these three preparatory steps are becoming the first step of the mindfulness meditation. In the very first step, if the mind is made slow, it is not running fast. Another metaphor my master used to give, the fan is running at a high speed. We are not aware how many parts of the fan are there, 3, 4, 5. When it is running slowly, I am fully aware. Same thing with the mind. Mind jumps from one event to the other, from one thought to the other. It is so fast that all the events and the thought appears together, and that creates the mess. That leads to the anxiety, duality, conflict, and long race of challenges and the problems. Being casual is the third step. Being casual, being natural. You are fully aware that now the mind is not seeking and asking anything to do. That is the way to be natural, being casual, being aware of comfort, carefree and casual. The moment any thought comes, mind by the habit, it wants to run on the thought. It wants to explore with reference to the past event happening. But we are casual. Thought comes, good. Goes away, good. Natural state where you are aware you're not doing anything. You are aware you are not doing anything, but the habitual mind pushes you to do something. It moves the body sometimes subconsciously. It recalls anything of the past. It repeats something in the mind in the form of images, vision, memories, and you are not doing anything. This is the first step, and experience the conscious rest in relaxation at this moment. Become aware of the sensation, the space outside, and the stillness. Conscious experience of the space outside, sensation on the skin, and the stillness. That is how we consciously experience. The mind is outside, but it is near, aware of the space, sensation, and the stillness. Conscious experience of the mind inside, some kind of quietness and a calmness inside we experience. Why we experience that calmness and quietness? Indirectly we slowed the pace of the mind without asking the mind to do it. And the conscious experience of doing nothing, state of doing nothing. And in that state of doing nothing, there is an awareness of the things, events, thought, if any. It is the way we consciously educate the mind in this level 2 of the mindfulness meditation. So every time I say you do nothing, that is a step, an independent practice. So with this audio you can pick up any step indirectly. The next step, awareness of the change and no change within and outside our life and living. With that awareness, we awaken to the change and also no change, unchanging identity within us. Become aware of the world outside. Everything changes. The event, people, things, and whatever changes cannot be me. People changes, events changes, things changes. Nothing is stationary. It belongs to me, but I do not belong to them. Just now you moved to another home. As long as you lived in the previous, it belonged to you, but you did not belong to the home. That's why you moved to another home. Look at it. The conditioned mind attaches. No, it's me, it's mine. Problem comes. This is the first neighbor from outside. Second neighbor from outside is the physical body. Look at the physical body. It is constantly changing. Every cell, blood, physiological functioning, renews the cells every minute. This body is constantly changing. We cannot stop it. We can simply change the direction. This is the second neighbor. I'm invoking the most beautiful principle of the Eastern wisdom. Neighbor means what? Even if you spend midnight with your neighbor and at last you say, okay, now I'm going to my home, thank you very much. Same thing applies to these neighbors, how dear and closer they are. Third neighbor is the energy. One manifestation is the breath, second is enthusiasm, fourth is excitement. Energy here means that causes the change in the physical, in the mental, in the event outside. It is constantly changing. This is the third neighbor. Not me, but neighbor. Deeper inside, the fourth neighbor is the mind, with thoughts, feeling, images, contents. I'm not the mind. Fifth neighbor is the intellect and the ego, the I-ness. The moment the intellect chooses anything, something within collapse identifies. I am here. Your body is here. Whether you're here or not is a different thing. The intellect and the I-ness is also the fifth neighbor and the sixth neighbor, deeper inside. Gives you the experience of pleasure, gives you the experience of comfort, joy, enjoyment, but still the sixth neighbor disappears when there is a pain, when there is a fear, when there is an anxiety in the mind. They ditch us, they deceive us. And deeper inside, the sixth neighbor is the real I. To discover that, we practice meditation. Why we practice that? In order to identify, to awaken to the real self, that is of the nature of peace, happiness, love, and the wisdom. The goal of the second step is to awaken to the change and become aware whatever changes is not me. I'm beyond all the change. Another way of mindfulness. Anxiety is a change. Pleasure is a change. You came here is a change. You go back to your home is a change. The thought you're listening is a change. And you're constantly aware of all the changes in the midst of all the activities with an intent to discover something beyond the change. You separate yourself. You awaken to the wisdom. Whatever changes you perceive cannot bring inner peace and happiness and wisdom. The second step I introduced today, it says, I'm not internally, non-verbally. You feel the sensation in the body, it is good. But deeper inside, you become aware, I'm not. Mind brings in the thought, you become aware of the thought and something within, I'm not. What I'm not? I'm not this thought. It awakens to the right discernment, detachment. And detachment leads to awakening. When we practice this step, it goes a long way for the next step. Do nothing. Just do nothing, remain aware. A simple awareness. And in that field of awareness, something comes up. Become aware. If it is a change, I'm not. Why you declare I'm not the change? In order to move inside, to discover beyond all the 6 neighbors. This step helps us to go deeper into the next step. Next step is the breath awareness. Look at the breath. Feel the breath in the state of sensation, in the stillness, in the state of calmness and the quietness. You are looking at the breath. Point 1. Become aware of the breath. What it means, become aware of the moving breath. In the background, you're aware whatever changes, is it not me? Yes, the moving breath makes me exist physically, mentally. Am I the breath? No. Breath belongs to me at this time? Yes. So you are aware of the moving breath. First point. You feel the sensation of the breath that is going in and out. And third point. There is no change in the rate and the rhythm of the breath. Now you can understand. The mind is deeply involved unconsciously to bring about a change, to make you believe your mind is doing a great thing for you. But in awakening to the inner state of meditation and awakening to the self, the mind is not required to change anything, but the mind is required to awaken to what is already changing. The breath is moving in and out, feeling the sensation, and you are aware, not changing the rate and the rhythm of the breath. Suddenly, in that state of the sensation, in the stillness and awareness of the 6 neighbors, the mind from nowhere brings in some thought, changes the rate and the rhythm of the breath. To push you to follow the changing moment outside. And we're asking the mind to be aware behind the movement of the breath. And if we continue, then this conditioned mind falls into unconscious sleep. Once you return, continue with the practice. What is the practice? Awareness of the moving breath. Feeling the sensation. No change. The mind is carried away by a thought. I would rather say you will be able to discover the mind, subconscious mind, intentionally, without any reason, picks up a thought and wants to forget the breath awareness. Why it does? That comes from the unconscious habit. You return again to be aware of the breath. The third barrier comes. The same habitual mind. Reasons. What is the fun of being aware of the breath? Then creates a chain of thought. Brings the state of forgetfulness. Now return again. Become aware of the breath. Going in and out, no change. Feeling the sensation of the breath going in and out. We are aware of the breath in the state of rest and relaxation. Calmness and the quietness. We may experience the emptiness of the mind that comes and goes. Emptying the mind. There is a natural happening. The thought comes, they appear, the next moment they disappear. As if the mind is emptying itself. Do we awaken to something within that does not change? Are we aware of something deeper within? It is not in terms of the image or a vision or a person. Something yet to be known. The mind refers to it as infinite space. Sometimes it refers to the dark space. It is fully aware. And we are educating the conditioned mind with a right perception that leads to the wisdom. Wisdom leads to awakening. What is that education? First level of awareness. That breath awareness continues, and deeper inside we perceive the emptiness of the mind. It comes and goes. Emptying the mind as if the mind is emptying itself. And we awaken to something deeper within. The mind can't figure it out, but it senses, there's something deeper within. That is a wonderful state. And once the awareness knows it, we already moved into the education level. You are already aware of the breath. 3 points. The moving breath. Feeling the sensation. No change. Now when the breath goes in count, in 1, comes out 1, in 2, out. From 1 to 25. You're counting the money. One part of the mind is counting $10, $20, $100, $1,000. But at the same time, the inner mind is fully aware. And the next buck that you're counting, yet to be counted, it is also aware where it is lying. Can you become aware while counting? Aware of what? Aware of behind the mind. Something deeper within. On the surface you are counting, and behind the mind, you see that infinity. One option. You're counting, your mind is involved into the thinking. That is a barrier. That will make you forget the counting. Return again to the counting of the breath. 1 to 25, the third, we're asking the mind, count up to 25 and do nothing. When you complete the 25 and do nothing, you experience the same state as if you are behind the mind. A state of emptiness, infinite dark space. You become oblivious of all the 6 neighbors. And when more option, you may fall into sleep. It's okay. We return again. We start the counting again. We reset it. Continue counting the breath in that state of stillness, calmness, and quietness. There is a simultaneous awareness of being comfortable, carefree and casual. Space, sensation in the stillness. 6 neighbors, counting the breath, and something behind. Mind sometimes figures, something emptiness, something dark space, as if the mind is emptying by itself. You complete 25 and you become oblivious of the outer world, but still you are fully aware. And at other times you are carried away by thought, feeling. You may have a vision, an instant experience, as if you're diving very deep down, going far from all the 6 neighbors. Continue counting. You complete 1 to 25. Do nothing until the next thought comes, and you will discover 3 layers of the conscious experience: an emptiness guided by the dark in infinite space, or diving deep down naturally, as if the mind is emptying itself in order to go deeper. Or you experience something is deeper within, an unchanging identity. You're counting the breath 1 to 25. That is only a reference point. The mind needs something objective. But behind there is a simultaneous awareness of calmness and quietness, space, sensation, and the stillness in the body. There is also an awareness of being comfortable, carefree, and casual. And when you're counting the breath, you're also aware of something behind the mind. Maybe a dark stretch of space, emptiness, or simply a flash. Or you see the process. Something is emptying the mind itself. How we know? Oh, thoughts are there, very far. They come, they disappear. They come again, they disappear. The frequency of appearance and the disappearance becomes less. Or you are aware, you become oblivious of everything outside, including all the 6 neighbors. Any one of these, if we extend that period, it leads to certain visions, experiences, and on the other hand, sleep takes over. We return again, we start the counting. The mind picks up a thought and runs away from that state. We become aware and return again to the counting of the breath. Do we experience as if counting is only a reference point deeper inside? Outside? We experience sensation in the stillness. 6 neighbors, comfortable, carefree, and casual. And inside that reference point of counting, behind it, we may experience sense of emptiness or something within emptying by itself. How do we experience? Something appears, disappears. Or we become totally oblivious of the outer world. It is neither sleep, we are fully aware. A sense of nothingness. Doing nothing, remain as you are in the state of doing nothing. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your awareness on the right hand. We are not in a hurry. Bring your awareness on the left hand. And check if the mind is ready to move the body. If not, stay there until your mind returns to the body. Then only you bring the hand on your eyes and open the eyes inside. Know your experiences. Bring the hands down